Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out. My name is Jim Heitman. I'm the Port Authority's Chief Operating Officer. Happy to be here to brief you on an important change in service. But before I get to that, I want to welcome you to the new Terminal A. This terminal is the foundation for new Newark Liberty International Airport, the whole new airport. It's going to be world-class, and this is the first step. After that, we did the NEC access, which opens the NEC station to the local community. It was something that we've been struggling to do over the last 20 years, and we're happy to say that we're going to be opening that up at the end of this year. And we've started on what is really super important, the replacement of the AirTrain system. But what you see here follows a bigger theme at the Port Authority. You've seen that over the past 10 years, we've made a whole new LaGuardia Airport. It's the best airport in North America, 2 years in a row by Forbes. This year, we're going to be opening 2 new terminals, the first phase of 2 new terminals out at JFK. So we've done it. We've started new things, and we're going to complete it. And then we announced our 2026 to 2035 capital plan, which is really going to complete each airport to its final destination as world-class airports. But with anything, with building, what we've learned is there will be disruptions. So we're going to announce today a service level change. What we have learned from our other endeavors is to get to that world class, you have to take some pain, you have to make alternative service, you need to communicate it, you need to do a lot of outreach. So we take our lessons learned, and that's what we're going to apply here. So in a minute, we're going to have Ralph DiPuzzo come up and talk to you about what the new service arrangements are going to look like. We understand it's very difficult, but we promise you at the end of this, you're going to have another world-class facility, and it's worth it. We also, we want to apologize in advance because it is tough when you get a routine and you have to change that routine. So that's why we want to get out here. We appreciate the media coming out to help us communicate and help the passengers and employees and other stakeholders navigate this new arrangement. So with that, I'll ask Ralph DiPuzzo, who's runs our Newark redevelopment program out here and has been doing a lot of work to make sure that we build this new replacement AirTrain right and work through these difficult transitions. Ralph?
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everyone. So I'm excited to welcome you to the airport today, especially as we prepare to commence a critical period for the AirTrain Newark replacement program that we'll discuss today. So AirTrain Newark, as you all know, has been in operation for a number of years, since 1996. It's reached the end of its useful life, and the current system cannot be expanded or upgraded to a new technology, which really is going to be needed to meet that growing passenger demand that we know is coming. The current alignment is also unable to provide direct service to the new Terminal A, as well as the new rental car facility, or facilitate future airport layouts that we've come up with our vision plan. The solution for this challenge is to replace the existing AirTrain with a state-of-the-art 2.5-mile automated people mover system capable of carrying 50,000 passengers daily, with thoughtful and functional connectivity to existing and future terminals. That'll lead to an exceptional customer experience worthy of Newark Liberty International Airport. So this image shows a number of things. First, it shows the existing alignment in yellow that the current monorail follows, and the new AirTrain alignment in green. The new alignment was developed with a number of things in mind, particularly future Terminal B that we're currently planning. The scope that was authorized by the Port Authority Board in November of 2024 included the selection of a joint venture firm, Tutor Perini O&G, for the guideway and stations contract. That's the bulk of the work that we're getting underway now, to design and build the new 2.5-mile elevated guideway structure and 3 new stations to replace the existing system. This $1.18 billion design-build contract will also build provisions for the future Station 2, which will service new Terminal B once it's built. The award comes after previous December 2023 design-build firm selection, where we awarded the system technology contract to Doppelmayr Railcar for the design and construction of the new AirTrain system technology components. Those are the vehicles, the train, track work, propulsion, power, and train control. The scope also includes a service contract for 20 years following the completion of the new AirTrain for the operations and maintenance of the new system. In total, the program cost comes in at $3.5 billion, with first passenger service still anticipated in Q1 2030. However, before we get to that opening date, we'll have to contend with the challenges the construction often brings. As Jim points out, the left part of the image, where the new alignment mirrors the existing alignment, where the yellow overlaps with the green, that's from the P4 garage all the way to the railing station. That's the area that we're going to be talking about today, where there'll be segment outages of the existing system, where we're very close to the work that'll be underway. So one of the biggest impacts, and the reason why we're here, is the inevitable segment outages that we'll have over the course of the construction, particularly the area that's highlighted in red shown here, which we call from the P4 station to what is known as the airport train station, also that links up to our railing station. That's where New Jersey Transit and Amtrak operate. The segment will experience intermittent outages over the next 2 years, since we're beginning construction in this area. In order to maintain safe working conditions during active construction near the existing AirTrain, the service for this portion will be suspended during the weekdays from Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. This segment outage will begin this coming Thursday, January 15th, until May 22nd, just before Memorial Day weekend. In order to minimize the heavy impacts during critical summer periods with increased travel, this work will be suspended with no impacts to the segment outages between Memorial Day and Labor Day, which will restore your regular train service. And then after Labor Day, the construction activity will resume until October 30th, which will then suspend before the holidays. So it's important to note in this that the area in green, which is the remainder of the alignment from P4 all the way to Terminal A, remains in operation throughout these segment outages. We're only talking about the portion that's highlighted in red that will be affected. So how do we handle the passenger volumes? So in order to continue our connections for our passengers while the AirTrain is out of service, between P4 and the airport train station, we've coordinated a bus shuttle system that will ensure the highest level of customer experience during this time. What you see here is an image of the routes. The blue is the inbound route from the railing station or the airport train station on the bottom left, and goes into the central terminal area, and then the red is on the return trip coming back out. Our bus shuttle operation was prepared with an eye towards meeting the existing AirTrain's current passenger demand. We'll have anywhere between 6 to 12 buses on the route at any given time, with the maximum number of buses running during the peak periods in the afternoon in order to meet that demand. Typically, between 1 and 3 will be the heavier volumes. Our objective is to keep our passengers moving, and with this number of buses, airport passengers can expect a bus every 4 to 5 minutes, which is about the headway that you see right now on the current AirTrain. We'll also be deploying a wide array of resources during these outages to support the passengers. They can expect increased customer service staff, directing them to pickup locations for the bus shuttles, also providing information for the active AirTrain routes. You'll see a mix of digital and static message signing throughout the routes that'll provide breadcrumb wayfinding, the signs that we put on the floor. Also, baggage support services will be available at the bus stops to assist passengers with bringing bags in and out of the buses. Finally, the bus shuttle is utilizing improved hybrid buses as well as new electric buses when they arrive sometime in Q2 of this year. The buses will be equipped with audio messaging to ensure customers are informed of their next stops, and will contain real-time GPS tracking that will inform our passengers along with the messaging at the different sites when they can expect the next bus. In addition, I'd also like to point out new critical signage that customers can expect to see on the journey, as seen in the next slide. A range of signage will be deployed to improve the overall experience and ease of navigation. Passengers will take note of these critical signs as they are marked by a red heading advising them of AirTrain construction partial outage. The signs on the top row are freestanding signs that will be found on the different platforms at the different stations, as well as various locations in the terminals. Outside the hours of AirTrain outage, these signs will be covered with our messaging that you see in the first image. Also, the signs that cannot be swapped out, we've made an intentional effort to add the days of the week and the timing to the signage so it's very clear. In addition to these wayfinding signs, passengers can also expect to see an updated AirTrain route map, as you see here. These are located both in the AirTrain cars and at the stations. As seen on this slide, the new maps will have both the normal AirTrain service route in addition to a side-by-side comparison with the partial outage information. And the maps will be in place by the start of the outage this coming Thursday. Aside from these resources being in place, we're making every effort to reach our customers through both external and on-airport messaging, as well as with all of your help. Leading up to the start of outages, we've made updates to our website, social media networks. We've also invested in paid search advertising and advertising on a variety of social media platforms, in addition to radio advertising. And we're working with our airline partners to incorporate messaging on their platforms and through customer correspondence as well. While at the airports, passengers will also be kept informed by audible messages on the buses, on the AirTrain cars, and at the AirTrain platforms. Our customer service staff will also be ready to provide passengers the latest and greatest info at all times during these outages. Finally, we encourage all passengers to visit newarkairport.com prior to arriving to the airport to get up-to-date information on the outages and other construction activity at the airport. Again, these segment outages will start January 15th. They're essential for the safe working conditions for our teams as we begin construction on the new system. These outages will take place 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. beginning Thursday, only from Monday through Friday, and will continue until May 22nd. We'll pause over the summer, as I mentioned earlier, to accommodate summer travel peak periods. We encourage customers traveling to the airport to plan ahead and budget for that additional travel time. And thank you again. We appreciate your patience and your understanding as we build an all-new world-class AirTrain worthy of Newark Liberty International Airport. Now I think we're going to open it up to questions. So.
The customers have to
Yeah, since there will be no change in any of the fares. The segment that we're talking about is only one portion, as the remainder of it still will be underway and still in effect. So that service will still be provided, and only limited hours will be closed. In addition, we have a number of resources that we're putting in place to support a better customer experience for the bus shuttle.
So how do you pay if
Just,
you're on the bus portion?
They will pay at the normal fare spot in the station, and then they will disembark the station, go down to the bus stops, and then aboard the buses.
Maybe you can describe the, excuse me, try to lift my voice. You can describe the type of buses that are going to be used. How easily will they be for passengers with large bags, strollers, children in tow to use?
Sure. These buses will be typically our 40-person capacity buses. That about right, Ed? Yeah, and they're the same types of buses that we use right now throughout the airport, which allow low board entry and exit, also with assists for wheelchair accessibility. So that's currently what's planned with the buses that we have.
As a follow-up question, how much time should people budget for the bus? Obviously, it's not going to be the same. The trip time is going to be longer than the AirTrain, I would figure. So I mean, what's your recommendation on top of what they're asked to budget for getting through TSA? How much more time should they allot?
I think we're probably talking about 30 to 60 minutes. 1-5? 15 minutes extra? I would say 30 minutes, but 15 minutes is really the amount that the journey is longer, depending on which segment you're going to.
You mentioned the buses can carry about 40 passengers. How does that compare to the volume of what the train would carry? Because you said that the time and the frequency would be about the same, right, by every 45 minutes?
Right. So the train, really what we're looking at for a typical AirTrain, a monorail train right now, we have about 70 passengers that we could take on a car. Is that right? On a train, Ryan?
Yeah, the bus will take about half of an AirTrain.
Yeah. With luggage, we're talking about half. So we have enough buses that there will always be a queue in place to be able to support what you would normally get. And it's more tied to the schedule of New Jersey Transit trains that are coming off of the station, because they're much larger capacity trains. Any other questions?
Maybe you could describe the scope of work that's going to be done and why it necessitates having to take that out of service. You mentioned that part of it is to ensure worker safety. So what kind of work?
So the work that we're currently doing during this period, especially the first segment that is during the day, really is something that it benefits from daylight. So it's pile driving activities where you really can't do it overnight because of noise and safety concerns, as well as heavy foundation work. Those are the first activities that will be taken advantage of, and they require the largest equipment. So you need a bit more clearance and room. So we want to make sure that it's as safe as possible.
So it sounds like the bus is really only needed if you're coming from the Newark access station, and you're trying to get to, let's say, Terminal A or any other terminals. But let's say you park in the Terminal A parking and you realize you need to be in Terminal C, the monorail's still running. So
Correct.
you don't need a bus for that.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So if I go back to the slide. Yeah, so right now, what you would still be able to go from P4 station, Terminal C, Terminal B, Terminal A, or the rental car, which is the Terminal A station where you would get the rental cars. You would use the existing monorail the entire time. Okay, that would still be running. You also have the ability to go use the P6 bus that runs on the frontages that can go from one terminal to another, so that's another option that will still be in operation. So we have a few different options for people.
And this new bus.
And this new bus
Here,
shuttle.
you could hop on it
Correct,
there or whatever.
correct. Any other questions?
You said it's gonna cost $3.5 billion for this?
Yes.
Who's footing the bill, and do you think that's a lot of money for 2.5 miles of work?
The Port Authority is fully funding that with our internal funding mechanisms. There's no taxpayer money. As far as it being expensive, yeah, we had a wake-up call after our initial bids came in our procurement process right after COVID or during COVID, and this seems to be the new reality. We did everything we could to value engineer it to a lower cost, but this is essentially what the market bears.
Is the price being affected by tariffs and obviously the change in global construction material markets?
It's still too early to tell. We've had some notifications, but nothing has materialized yet. So they're still trying to figure out, I think, where things settle depending on the different components. Our trains are being manufactured overseas, but a lot of countries are still unclear as to how it's going to work. Okay, if there's no other questions, I think we're going to be going downstairs and going onto the buses. So we'll be doing the route starting from Terminal A, going to the Newark Airport Station, and then doing the route as if we were leaving the station, going back to each terminal, and then we'll end up back here. So it should take about 30 minutes for the route to take.